Hello there, fellow summoners. How are you all doing today? We finally reached one of my favorite topics in League. Objective priority. Knowing when to go for what and what it implies. Let's get right into it and understand the basics. So what are objectives in League? Boosteria defines the League objective as an important map object what provides advantage to anyone who controls it, what in turn leads to the constant competition for it, like dragons, Baron, buffs, and turrets or towers. Objectives provide significant advantage to any team and are therefore very important and sought after. A lot of people, especially in low elo, seem to believe that you win games by getting kills and kills, and that's part of what's keeping them in the so dreaded elo hell. Understanding that objectives are what drives a team to victory can alter your playstyle in such a way that you might actually start winning more just because you're thinking that. The game you're currently watching right now is a game I played yesterday in one of my brother's account because I was playing with lower elo people and couldn't join queue with my main. I ended up losing lane and the game was spiraling out of control for us. The only reason why we were able to win the game was because we focused on getting objectives while our enemies, being lower elo than what I'm usually playing in, focused on running down mid to get kills. But I'll go into a little bit more detail at the end. So there's 3 ways that you can get ahead in the game. Getting more kills than your enemies, more CS than your enemies, and obtaining control of the game's objectives. Now, why is it that objective control is the best out of these? Well, because not only does it give your team global gold, but it also provides you with map control, allowing your minions to advance further. Taking towers gives your whole team gold, and forces your enemy to move further back or run the risk of getting ganked. This, in turn, allows you to go to another lane and help win their tower, and so on. Drakes give your whole team permanent buffs. It's like having more items at all stages. Baron almost always allows you to push multiple lanes at once successfully, and inhibitors will push a lane automatically for you while you focus on others. But I'm sure you know all that already. The real problem is deciding what you should go for when you don't have the time to take all of them. Say you've aced the enemy team in your base. The timers are counting down 30 seconds for each enemy. Where do you go? Do you push lanes or do you take Baron? What about Elder? Let's take a look at what I'd consider the basics of objective priority. First, you need to have a shot caller. How many times can't a team decide itself quickly enough and doesn't end up taking anything? Respect the shot caller. If you're playing solo queue, then usually just let the jungler decide if you should take Baron or not, if no one else really steps up. The second thing is you need to understand the priority of objectives, which is this one in my opinion. Nexus towers, Baron/inhibitor, Elder Drake, inhibitor towers, second tier towers, Infernals/mountain, first blood tower, clouds and oceans, first tier towers, buffs. Why is Baron and inhibitor in the same spot? Because in my opinion, it depends on the specific game you're playing which one is actually more important. If you're behind, I take Baron if the opportunity arises, because not only will you be taking it from your enemies for 6 minutes, but you can then look for a chance to push inhibitors. But if you're already ahead, taking inhibitors first will very easily allow you to take Baron afterwards, because the enemy team, which was already behind, will now have to have someone defend their base and will most likely lose in 5v4 fights without much trouble. Elder Dragon could actually come into consideration here as well, but only if you really have 4+ Drakes. Otherwise, it's just worse than these two. The rest is probably self-explanatory, but feel free to ask down in the comments if anything isn't clear. One last thought regarding this list. Do not, I repeat, do not sacrifice your Nexus towers for any of these objectives. The list goes for the other way around too. You can trade a lower objective for a higher one of yours. Keep that in mind. Going back to the ending of my game yesterday, notice how the enemies try to go for an ARAM style instead of taking other easier objectives for them. After a really good fight of ours, we managed to take objectives that allowed us to be stronger even though we were behind most of the game. I wasn't even full build at this time. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, then I have a suggestion for you. If you're watching this in the day that I launched it, then know that I'm going to be streaming right after uploading it. So join me, be a part of our little family, and come learn and come have some fun. The link for the Twitch stream will be in the description. I seriously love you all. Sakeios out.